Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here in front of all of you. And yes, that was a long bio. I do need to condense it because it was kind of repetitive as well. So, welcome and thank you so much for being here. I am super excited for you guys and for the time being or the amount of time I have. I want to take permission from all of you if I can just read through my slides because I have tons of information and I want to make sure that everything is expressed to you without me going over my time or me getting on a tangent because I can't do that too. So, welcome. Next, raise your hand if you feel like you have a demanding career, you have family responsibilities, you're trying to juggle it all. Amazing. I see you. Now, keep your hands up if lately you've seen that with doing all of those things, your energy is down. You feel like you're scatterbrained, and maybe even the weight is creeping up. Yeah. So I see you. I see you, and you're not alone. I was there with you guys just a few years ago. And so I understand the importance of being in the optimized health. Couple of things I discovered as I was going through my journey is that it is not about age. I was told, oh, I'm not getting any younger. Oh, I have two kids. I have my own business. Of course, you're going to be tired. Of course, you're going to go through this. So I want you guys to know it is not your fault and it is not about age. All right? It's about your hormones. Love it. So today we are decoding what your body's been trying to tell you, and my mission is to empower you with the proven knowledge and practical strategies to address what's really causing these hormone shifts so you can boost your energy, sharpen your focus, and become more productive, all while looking and feeling fabulous. But first, we are going to do a quick breath work exercise, and it's called the physiological sigh. This is one of my favorite breath work technique. And it's favorite because A, it works instantly, and B, you can do it anywhere. All right, so I am going to show you how it's done, and then I want all of us to do it at least once, okay? So the way you do it is you take a deep breath in through your nose, all the way in, and then you hold it, and then you take a quick one more up, and then sigh with your mouth. So let's do it together. Breathe in, quick. Do you feel that? Can you feel how it can help you just de-stress right away? The reason I like to do it is A, yes, it's going to help you de-stress, but I also want you guys to be fully present and in a calm state, because that's when we can absorb a lot of information coming in and we can just be our best selves. So in order to understand how to overcome our hormonal imbalances, first we have to understand what the root cause is. And the top root cause is stress, right? So how do we define stress? Well, stress is not just a feeling, it's our body's response to perceived threats, which activates the fight or flight system in our body, which helps us with the survival mechanism. Now, there are three main types of stressors. Physical, which is trauma, if you got in a car accident, if you had an injury, things like that. You have mental stress, which is things like your thoughts, your worrier. A lot of us as women are worrier. Emotional stress, that's part of the mental stress. Chemical stress, those are things that either we're breathing in, the air that we breathe in, especially us here with all the refineries around us. Another thing is the foods that we consume, right? A lot of additives, chemicals that are put in our body. So that is the chemical stress. Now you may be wondering that if stress response is good, it's there to help us, then why is stress a bad thing? It's a bad thing because we are supposed to have an acute stress. Our body is meant for us to handle the acute stress if a lion is chasing us or something like that, right? Or for in that survival, something happens and we need to run away, or we need to do something right away to get out of a bad situation. But stress is bad when it's chronic. If it happens on a daily basis throughout the day, then that stress builds up and it causes a lot of issues such as hormonal health, metabolic health, heart health, digestive health, and even mental health. So this is one of the reasons why stress is bad. Now, I've listed here some common symptoms that women with hormonal imbalances experience. Okay, so read over that quickly. Lost my clicker. All right, so the reason why it's important to resolve these symptoms is because if we want to hold positions, high positions, high demanding positions, if you want to be a great business owner, or if you want to have time when you get, at the end of the day, when you get home, if you want to have time to work on your hobbies, or even just spend quality time with your family, we have to understand these symptoms and where they root from, and also to overcome them. Right? Now, one of the things I want to speak about is how stress relates to different types of hormone imbalances, and I'm going to focus on the common ones that women experience. This one happens to be very near and dear to me because this is how my journey started out as. So I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism back in 2007. Asymptomatic, none of the problems, they just saw that through my blood work. But later on, it became symptomatic and it started causing issues with anxiety, with weight gain, and all the different other things that thyroid issues come with. So how does stress affect thyroid issues? So there's 4 ways how stress can affect our thyroid condition. Number 1, it blocks the TSH signaling. So TSH is what is most commonly ordered when we do blood work, TSH and T3, maybe T4. TSH is thyroid stimulating hormone. It's not a thyroid hormone, it's a pituitary hormone. So the way the messaging signal works is our thyroid gland produces T4, which is the inactive thyroid hormone. It needs to convert to T3. Now, once your body senses there's less of that T4 hormone being produced by your thyroid, it sends a signal to your hypothalamus, which is right here at the top of your brain. Hypothalamus tells the pituitary gland, says, hey, send that mailman, the messenger, which is TSH, to the thyroid gland so that your thyroid knows, oh, I need to make more T4. So when you have high amounts of stress, your body also builds a lot of, or produces a lot of cortisol. Well, that cortisol hinders that messaging that comes from the pituitary gland to your thyroid. So that's the first way that stress can affect thyroid function. So your thyroid gland can completely be functional, but it's because that cortisol is hindering it. It's not able to understand, oh, I need to produce more T4. The second way it affects is it overwhelms the liver. So guys, liver, or ladies, liver is so important when it comes to hormone health. Now, when it comes to thyroid, 60% of our thyroid hormone, the inactive, the T4 that our thyroid makes, gets converted by the liver. So if the liver is overwhelmed with all this cortisol constantly being produced and coming into our system, because liver has to filter all of that and balance things around. And if it's overwhelmed trying to figure all that out, it's going to tell your thyroid, hey, sit tight, I'll be there when I can. So now you have a thyroid gland that's producing enough T4, but it's not able to convert it to T3. It has to convert into T3 for your body. Every single cell in our body needs that T3 to function. So if it's not getting, or if it's not converting into T3, now your cells are like, hey, what's going on? I can't function. So you'll experience things like you may have thyroid issue, you could take the T4, the thyroid medication, but you're still feeling fatigued. You're still feeling like I can't think straight. All of those symptoms, it does not resolve because you have enough T4, it's not being converted. So that's where the glitch happens. This third way is the cortisol that's coming in. Oh, yes, when you have cortisol, it also prevents the T3 from attaching to that cell receptor. And the last one is when you have high amounts of cortisol, when the conversion process is occurring, instead of making the T3, which is the activated thyroid hormone that our body needs, it ends up making a reverse T3. Reverse T3 is basically the twin of T3. So it looks exactly just like T3. So here's your cell with the receptor hungry for that T3, free T3. But instead, the reverse T3 goes in and attaches itself to it. Now what happens? Your cells are going, hey, thanks for fueling me, but it's the wrong fuel. So you're still feeling fatigued. You're still not feeling well. So these are 4 ways how cortisol can mess up your thyroid function. Now, let's look at the second one that a lot of women experience, which is insulin resistance. Insulin resistance, when you have chronic stress, it increases your body's demand of insulin. So when you have a high demand of the insulin, plus your diet or the way you're eating also requires high amounts of insulin, then your insulin goes, I don't know what's going on. I give up. I can only do so much. Now you end up having insulin resistance. Insulin resistance can also cause, once you have it, the energy fluctuation, fatigue, all of that, difficulty losing weight, and also sets you up for having type 2 diabetes. Common thread between insulin resistance and thyroid dysfunction is when thyroid hormone levels are low, which is hypothyroidism, metabolism slows down, and this slowdown can lead to a range of metabolic dysfunction. That includes your glucose intolerance or metabolism, and that contributes again to insulin resistance. People who have insulin resistance will also have high risk of PCOS, and I'm going to talk about that next. So, stress and PCOS. Stress will exacerbate symptoms of PCOS by increasing the insulin levels and the androgens in your system, which will lead to irregular menstrual cycles, weight gain, and fertility issues. When we talk about thyroid, I'm trying to help you connect the dots and why I'm speaking this, and I'll explain everything towards the end. So the common thread with thyroid dysfunction and PCOS is when you have hypothyroidism, it causes an imbalance in our female reproductive system, and especially the hormones. That will lead to, or it'll worsen if you already have PCOS. Now let's talk about stress and the pause. Let me ask you quickly, am I running too fast? Okay, good, because I want to get through all of it. So menopause, it really starts at the age 35 plus. We were, even me, I was under the impression that, 40, 45, that's when we should start thinking about perimenopause and menopause, but in actuality, it starts around the age 35. So when cortisol stays high, especially during the perimenopause and menopause stages, it disrupts your estrogen, progesterone, and your insulin balance, which means that it intensifies the fatigue, the brain fog, the weight gain, and the mood swings and hot flashes. Now, yes, the pause stage is not all about hot flashes. There's so much more to it. So managing stress isn't just about feeling calm. It's essential for easing your hormonal imbalance, right? As estrogen levels drop during menopause, your thyroid function can also be impacted, making existing thyroid conditions worse or even triggering new issues. So a lot of times with me, I had to watch for that. So as I went through my journey, things were running great. Then I got into my 40s. That's when it really hit me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going on? I was doing just fine. But I realized I was in that stage where now my estrogen was also depleting, making my thyroid symptoms worse. So it can make symptoms worse if you already have thyroid issues, but if you don't, it can also create thyroid dysfunction at this point. So both conditions share symptoms like fatigue, brain fog, weight gain, all of that. So sometimes it becomes very confusing. It creates a confusing situation because you don't know. Do you have PCOS? Do you have thyroid issue? Are you going through menopause, perimenopause? What is going on here? Which is why I want to bring this to you, this information to you, that it could be, they could all be correlated. And if not, there's still a common thread that we can take care of to help with all of these variety of hormonal issues. So here we go. Let's put it all together. So take a few seconds to look at this, and basically what it shows is how how chronic stress leads to hypothyroidism. I have Hashimoto's in there, so I'm going to kind of throw in a little factual tidbits. 99, or at least 95, I should just say, 95% or more of hypothyroid diagnoses they come from Hashimoto's. Hashimoto's is an autoimmune disease where your body's own immune system is attacking your organ. And the number one, the most common, especially in the women, is your thyroid. So then what happens is your immune function goes, oh, well, thyroid tissue looks a lot more like a foreign tissue. It has a messaging glitch in that autoimmune. And it starts to attack your thyroid gland. So again, your thyroid gland is completely fine, but now your immune system is attacking your thyroid gland, which is why you might get a lot more sensitivities. You might have to make sure to eat things and do things that will make sure that your body stays in a calm state. So it is important, very important, to know whether you have this autoimmune aspect to your thyroid condition. The way you do it is, I do have a resource. I didn't put it in there, but feel free to come up to me towards the end or at the end, and I'll share that resource to me. There are 7 specific test markers that you must have when you're looking into your thyroid health. So when you look at that, you will know whether you have Hashimoto's or not. So stress can impact your thyroid gland. It can also affect your immune system to go crazy and attack your body's own organ. It also creates problems with insulin resistance, PCOS, and perimenopause and menopause stage. Now, when you look at the thyroid side, thyroid dysfunction affects insulin resistance, PCOS, and perimenopause and menopause affects the thyroid and vice versa. So when you go to a doctor with all of your issues, your symptoms, and they're looking at you going, everything is fine. Your labs are fine. Or, like I mentioned, it's just your age. Of course, you're not getting any younger. Take that out. It's not age. All right? There are countries in the world where women are going through perimenopause and menopause and not having any symptoms at all. And that's exactly how it should be. We should not be symptomatic going through this stage because our body has a mechanism to balance that out. As the estrogen goes down, our body has systems that will basically balance out and create more estrogen so that we don't go through these symptoms. But why is it not happening? It's because of our lifestyle. So yes, food is part of getting healthy, but it's the lifestyle that is a lot more impactful when it comes to hormone health. So what I do with my clients when it comes to helping them thoroughly is first, I want to hear them. I will sit there and listen to them because I need to understand exactly what's going on. A lot of times you can write things, check off on forms and things, but unless I hear from you, I see the way you're presenting it, how it affects you. All of those things are important. So I want to listen to you carefully because a lot of things I understand through that conversation. And then we also test, we don't guess. We also evaluate, we don't guess. So one of the fastest way I can figure things out before even doing the labs is through this root cause assessment form. It's got 400 plus questions. Once a client takes that or fills out that form, I can review it and I can pretty much come up with the top 3 or 4 things, functions or systems in your body that are out of balance. And that will give you a huge relief, because I get so many clients who go, oh my gosh, finally you understand me. Finally you heard me. Because I was always being dismissed by my physician. Every time I say, I'm tired, I don't get it. What's going on? Or the labs may come normal. Yes, because when you do blood work, they're comparing you with the people in your age group and people who also are going through similar symptoms. So you're being compared to other sick people pretty much. What I like to compare my clients with is through functional lab work. That is where here's your normal range, here's your functional range, your optimal range, where healthy people are. So I want to compare my clients to where healthy people are so that I can get them there. Right? So I have various ways of testing, whether it's stool test, blood work, saliva test, you name it. So yes, test, evaluate, don't guess. Right, so we know all of these connection, things that can happen, you've experienced or you may have experienced going through your regular conventional doctors and the types of answers you get. And if you are worried, okay, this is not going to help me, well, I'm here to help you, right? So what do I do now? Well, solution. We talk about nutrition. All right, so when we talk about nutrition, my favorite, and I'll get to the side so you guys can take pictures. The first thing, my all-time favorite when we talk about supplements, I don't involve a lot of supplements when I work with clients, but there are some specific ones I absolutely love. And I only like to offer those supplements that our body's not naturally making or our body's not naturally getting, right? So my all-time favorite is adaptogenic herbs. What are adaptogenic herbs? Basically, they are super smart. They are your ashwagandha, they're holy basil, reishi. All of those are adaptogenic herbs and mushrooms because they know if you're lacking certain hormones, it'll help you balance those out. So it also helps calm down that cortisol level. Super effective, and even my clients love it. I take it every day. So adaptogenic herbs are very important if you have a high stress job or just a lifestyle that's super high and demanding. Vitamin D3 with K2. So normally people take vitamin D because we're always inside, we're indoors, we're not getting the amount of sun that we should be getting. So I always try to tell clients, hey, make sure, and I do test for it. That's part of my lab panel. But if you're low or just want to be on the safe side, take vitamin D3. You want to take one that also incorporates K2 simply because K2 will make sure that vitamin D goes through your bones and not through your joints or your blood vessels, because you don't want it to go to your blood vessels. That'll create more calcification. Absolutely not. The reason you want D3 is because D3 is a carrier for your calcium molecule. So if you have enough D3, which is carrying the calcium molecule, but if it's going through your blood vessels or your joints, it's going to create arthritis in your joints and arterial effects in your blood vessels. Basically what that means is heart attacks, strokes, and things like that. So to avoid that, you want to make sure that vitamin D is always connected with K2, all right? Magnesium glycinate, super important. That is something I also tell 35 and on, we must take magnesium. And the specific one, there's magnesium citrate, there's magnesium glycinate are the top ones. Citrate is if you're having constipation and issues with constipation, that's when you incorporate magnesium citrate. Magnesium glycinate is something that we should take every day. It helps us calm down, it helps us with our sleep and just overall hormonal conditions. Next one is probiotics, another important one. When it comes to probiotics, you want to make sure that it has 10 million organisms and it has at least 2 or 3 different varieties of bacteria in it, which is why it's the variety that makes a difference. So you want at least one of those to be soil-based bacteria. And then the other ones could be any other two varieties. But 10 billion organisms per capsule is what you want. Next thing is ginger or ginger tea, super anti-inflammatory. So that also helps because what does stress create? The mechanism of stress is when we have stress, it creates a lot of inflammation in our body. Once you have this inflammation, now you have chaos. And that's why we have all these issues. So epigenetics is one of the topic I like to discuss, which is the lifestyle, which includes nutrition and lifestyle. But that's where you can have genetics. I hear people, oh, it's in my genes, it's in my hereditary, I have diabetes. No, but you don't have to be defined by that, right? You can change all of those things by a way of epigenetics. What is that? That's eating the right foods and having a healthy lifestyle, daily habits. So that's when we can really change the coding of our health. Instead of saying, oh, I have diabetes in my hereditary, now I can say, well, I have it. We have those markers sitting there, but how do we turn them off? By a healthy lifestyle and nutrition. So ginger is super healthy, is very good with inflammation, so joint pain, anything like that, but overall inflammation. Also turmeric, you can either take capsules. I love incorporating turmeric in my foods. So when you cook soups, rice, noodles, anything, just sprinkle a little bit in there. Golden tea, golden milk tea, any of those things are amazing to incorporate turmeric in there. I love cooking, so I'm always experimenting with different recipes and how do I incorporate herbs and spices that will help my health as well, right? And my family. Green tea, super, super amazing, right? High antioxidants, works really well with metabolism as well and your estrogen health. So those are the things as far as supplements. When it comes to food, Brazil nuts. I put that at the top because a lot of women, we do have thyroid issues. And when you have thyroid issues, selenium is one of the supplements that you want to be taking. But instead of taking supplements, you incorporate food. Take 2 Brazil nuts. That will suffice what you need for your daily amount of selenium. So then we talk about protein. I recommend that for each meal, you should incorporate about 30 grams of protein, right? It's super easy. Lentils for vegetarian, plant-based, it's lentils, chickpeas, legumes. If you eat eggs, that's amazing too. And if you don't, you have animal protein. But make sure you get enough, adequate amount of protein. Healthy fats is super important. It's great for our brain function. It's great for our cholesterol. Yes, a lot of people think, my gosh, if I eat fats, it's going to clog my artery even more. No, not the healthy fats. It's the unhealthy fats that come from seed oils. So if you eat nuts, if you eat avocado, olive oil, things like that, coconut oil, ghee, clarified butter, all of those things are amazing for our body. So don't avoid those. Those are healthy ones. So make sure you incorporate that because our body needs that. A variety of fruits and vegetables. 2 reasons I say that, because obviously antioxidants, and that's fiber. When we talk about variety of vegetables, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the probiotics again. An easy way to help your probiotics is to incorporate a lot of different types of vegetables. Quickest way to do that is get a bunch of different types of greens, carrots, zucchini, blend it, rough blend it, and freeze it in ice cubes. 1 cube a day. Just incorporate it, either just eat it if you're okay, just saute with something, or add it to your soups or whatever food you're cooking. That 1 cube per day will provide your good bacteria in your body the food that it needs to grow. So that is a probiotic. Any kind of fermented food like kimchi, sauerkraut, things like that are super healthy too. So we hear about probiotics, but this is prebiotics. Prebiotics is the food that your healthy bacteria in your gut needs to get stronger and multiply. So when we provided the food, now your immune system is even healthier. Your gut lining is also healthier. So it's not just about fibers. It's not just about the antioxidants. It really helps your immune system. It helps your gut and just overall health. Healthy grains, super healthy. grains like quinoa, oatmeal, even basmati rice or white rice. S- Yes, brown rice is great, but it is very hard for our body to digest that brown rice. So a lot of times I tell patients, yes, eat the brown rice if you want, maybe early on in the day so it has time to digest and your body works through it. But if you want to just not even think about it, jasmine rice is perfect. It gives you that carb, but it does not sit there and convert into sugar or into fat. A little tidbit about resistant starch. So when you eat any grains like rice and any breads, pastas and things like that, if you cook it, potatoes as well, cook it, put it in your fridge, and then eat it cold or warm it up a little bit or room temperature, the effect from that carb or starch from spiking your blood sugar, it's going to go down to it being more of an insulin resistance effect. So instead of it causing a blood sugar spike, it's going to help you resist that blood sugar spike. Right? So again, helps with weight loss. Avoid inflammatory foods like gluten, soy, and dairy. That is something if you're feeling the effects of just feeling congested, you're not able to get over your energy, weight loss, all of that. Try with 1 week. Don't make long commitments. Just try it with 1 week and say, next week I won't have anything with gluten, no dairy, and no soy. You'll see a huge difference with your bloating, with the way you can focus, and your energy. You literally will wake up feeling amazing. So just try for 1 week. Now, when it comes to lifestyle, this is one of my favorites, epigenetics. Yes, I'm going to talk about a routine. We need to make sure that we get sunlight through our eyes in the morning, from morning to midday. Why is it important? We all have a circadian rhythm to each of our hormones. In the morning, we want that cortisol to be super high. That happens when our bodies or our eyes sense that sunlight coming in. So sunlight triggers the cortisol to spike up. We want that in the morning because when that cortisol comes up, the sugar comes up. That helps us have energy throughout the day. Now, in the evening, we want to expose our bodies to the sunset or the lights dimming down. What you want to do at home is use lamps or candles, dim down any of the overhead lighting so that your body goes, oh, it's sunset. That means the cortisol has to go down. If the cortisol does not go down, the melatonin will not spike up. So a lot of people will say, oh my gosh, I feel wired and tired. My physical body, I'm tired. I just can't fall asleep because that cortisol still is up. So the way you retrain your brain is get that sunlight in the morning, 15 to 20 minutes. If you're having to make phone calls, go outside and do it without sunglasses, okay? If you have to answer some emails, go outside and do it. Drink your tea, coffee outside. Get that 15, 20 minute sunlight. Then in the evening, either go out for a walk when it's sunset or dim your lights and use lamps and things like that. Now, mindful movement. When your body is under stress, even something like exercising and working out can be a problem. It's good, but our body still senses as a stressor, which means more cortisol coming in. So I will get clients saying, I'm working out like crazy, I'm eating healthy, but I'm gaining weight. I don't get it. Your body is sensing stress. So mindful movement versus extreme workouts. What do I mean by mindful movement? I mean, do those activities that you absolutely enjoy, love doing. They keep you active. Things like swimming. If you like playing tennis, go play tennis. If you love dancing, dance. If you like yoga, do yoga. Pilates, anything that's calm, but you enjoy doing it. Strength training is one of them, but not those high intensity boot camps. You want to do things at your own pace. That is super important. I am telling you, when you incorporate this, it is like that switch is going flick and your body goes, thank you so much. I appreciate this. And it goes, oh, why am I holding on to all these toxins? Why am I holding on to all this inflammation and fat? I'm not in a survival mode. I'm good. Let it go. So that's the difference between mindful movement and extreme workouts. Daily breath work. So we just did a breath work exercise in the beginning. Those are the types of things throughout the day. I could be in a carpool. and midday. And I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna do this because I'm super stressed. I gotta do this, this, and that. Or there are days where mid-afternoon slump, as a lot of us get that. There's another breath technique. If we have a chance, we're all gonna do that towards the end. It is a fun. It's called yogic coffee breath. Amazing. So there are practices that you can do, meditation, guided meditation. There's tons of them on YouTube. Our goal is to create a routine that works for our body and not against us. So start your morning with that sunlight. Throughout the day, walk around while your phone calls. You're getting your movements. Do these breathwork techniques throughout the day too, so you can keep your body at a calm state. A calm state body will not have inflammation. And if there's no inflammation, we will not have a lot of these chronic issues and hormone issues, right? Gratitude. You cannot be in a gratitude mode or a happy frequency and be angry or sad. They're two different frequencies. So the more you do gratitude or think about things that you have that you're happy about, you're grateful for, again, you're retraining your body and thinking, it's okay. I have all this. I'm okay. You're calming it. Sleep hygiene, super important again, right? We talked about the cortisol has to go down in order for the melatonin to come up. Well, if that doesn't come up, you won't be able to sleep properly. So the routine that you created is amazing, and it will, if you stick to it, it will help you sleep better. A couple of things you want to do before sleeping. Avoid hour and a half or so before sleeping. Avoid any kind of screen, and if you have to, use a blue light blocker or wear those blue light blocker glasses. All right, I have this free app on all my gadgets because I do like watching TV at night. That's the de-stressor as well, along with my kids. But at night, I just want to watch something comedy relief just before I go to sleep. But I wear my red blue light blocking glasses. Incorporate these types of habits. Have a journal next to your bed. Brain dump. Put everything on there. Why do you want to go to sleep with so much on your mind? And also for the next day, think about 3 things. We all have a long list of things that we want to do, but pick 3 things that you must, so it's your must-do list, that you must accomplish the next day. It's easy to accomplish 3 things, and you check them off, and you feel great. Now, I'm going to go through some testimonials. Here's Shayna. She's 52, mom of 2 kids, came to me with fibroids, perimenopause, hot flashes, difficulty losing weight, all the things that typically we experience. 6 weeks into the program, and it's a holistic program. It does not have supplements or any of that. She lost 19 pounds. She feels amazing. Her energy has increased. Bloating is gone. Hot flash is gone. Good stuff. Confidence level. We all want that. From 158 to 139. No medication, no injections, just food. Here's another one, Erin. 142 to 115, and she's actually a vegan, so she was quite happy about low energy, fatigue, restless sleep, and chronic eczema. And you can see from the picture what a difference it made with the swelling and the redness. And again, she lost 27 pounds, right? And eczema gone. Q&A and takeaways. Do you guys have any questions for me? I know I went through this really quickly because 45 minutes was sort of short for me. Yes. 250, 200. So there's a couple of them. Designs for women, designs for life, pure encapsulations, metagenics, those are the good point. I also have access where I can create free accounts for any of you who are interested. It's basically an online supplement dispensary with good quality supplements, and you get it at the same price as you would at Whole Foods or any other places. So yeah, great question. I do have the evaluation form that I talked about that my clients fill out, the 400 questionnaire. I am offering to all of you here. That's that QR code on your right. Make sure when you do that, there's a coupon code because it's worth $79, but I use the $79 off, all caps code, and you'll be able to get that. And then once you fill it out, I'll get the results for it, and then you can set up a call with me and we can go over it and I can explain you what's going on with you. And I would love to stay connected with all of you. So here's my Instagram QR code as well. I'm also on LinkedIn and Facebook. But once you're on one, you can connect with me on the other ones. Any other questions? How's- Thank you. Thank you.